I think it's pretty safe to say that when we examine the Star Wars franchise, without a doubt, the Skywalkers really are the glue of this massive brand that started back in 1977 by George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, that is the one thing that a lot of fans had a lot of issues with the sequel trilogy, is that it seemed to move away from the Skywalkers like Luke, Anakin, etc. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm kept on calling it the quote-unquote continuation of the Skywalker saga, right? So when we look at everything related to what they are doing now, they are trying to really regain the fans that they lost because of those that were very much unsatisfied, especially with The Last Jedi and, of course, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, of course, given that Episode 9 was a movie that did not reach the amount of The Last Jedi at the box office, speaking of course, that really does tell us and gives us a telltale sign there that there were less repeat viewings among many Star Wars fans around the world because of what they expected to see in this movie, and of course, based on what Kathleen Kennedy deleted from this movie, back in late 2019 when they were making major adjustments to The Rise of Skywalker. Now, the one thing about this that I will say that really makes me hopeful about the future of Star Wars is the fact that they are going to be making the Skywalkers significantly more relevant in this new expanded universe, and this is all because of Bob Chapek and George Lucas. Now, with that being said, what's really exciting is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films as well as their new Star Wars universe. Now, it's explained that both Disney and Lucasfilm are developing multiple ways in order to reunite the fans around the world to create a better future for the Star Wars brand in general. Now, it's explained that they are currently hard at work on developing the new Star Wars universe that is said to be far larger than the ones fans got back in the 1990s and the early 2000s. Now, this new universe is set to expand the story of the Skywalkers in surprising ways for the fans around the world, where it's noted that one of the major stories that Lucasfilm is currently developing is set to introduce a brand new Skywalker in a post-Episode 9 era that would take place a couple of decades after the events of The Rise of Skywalker by introducing a new Skywalker that goes by the name of Zane Skywalker. The Zane Skywalker character is said to be accurately based off of the character from Star Wars Legends, Cade Skywalker, that is planned to be the son of Rey Skywalker in the new Star Wars universe. One of the major story elements that are being developed is set to include that Zane Skywalker will be a character that will be a bounty hunter in a post-Episode 9 era, where the character of Zane will actually try to ignore the Force ghosts of the past, such as Luke, Anakin, and others like Leia as well, where the story is set to introduce a Skywalker that wants to deny his very own bloodline and the history of the Jedi. The challenge for Zane Skywalker in this post-Episode 9 era is set to introduce a clan or a group of dark side warriors that will carry on the Skywalker legacy of course, the Sith as well, where Zane Skywalker must stop running away from the bloodline and embrace where he comes from. Now, Zane Skywalker is said to be the first Skywalker that would be considered an anti-hero in this new Star Wars universe that Lucasfilm is currently developing right now, where Lucasfilm is even pitching the concept of a temporary return of the Sith in this post-Episode 9 story that Zane would have to face in this new EU. So what really does lift my spirits up about this when it comes to the Star Wars universe is that, yes, they're trying to make the Skywalkers more relevant in this new expanded universe. They are trying their absolute best in order to really introduce the Skywalkers in a way that we have never seen before in, of course, both Legends and canon material. So, given that Zane is going to be heavily based off of Cade, there are going to be accurate ways of telling the story of how it was told in the EU, but they also have to fine-tune it to the point where it's going to have some differences here and there based on this new era that's going to be placed in this new EU. So, obviously, changes will be made, but the character's appearance and personality and stuff along those lines are going to be very accurate to the character of Cade. Now, the reason as to why they're renaming this character is because they don't want any confusion between the Legends version and the canon version of Cade. I find it very interesting the fact that they're trying to embrace the fact that they're going to be developing a Skywalker that will be considered a bounty hunter. That, to me, I think is going to be a very interesting side of the story. Something that we have never seen before in canon material, right? We've seen this in Star Wars Legends with Cade, but we have never seen anything like this in the current canon material, right? We've never seen a Skywalker that was a bounty hunter, quote unquote, like, of course, you know, Boba Fett or anybody around those lines. So I think that's going to be a very interesting side to see, without a doubt. So, like I've said before in the past, you know, let me know what you think about everything related to Disney and Lucasfilm's plan here for the continuation of the Skywalkers in this post-Episode 9 era. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.